So, as some of you already know, one of our key initiatives has been to develop a startup climate radar over the last couple of years. Could you? Okay, I'll proceed. So one of our key initiatives has been the Startup Climate Radar that we've been compiling with companies from all across the region. So many of you are probably familiar with this map already. We've been sharing it over different channels, our WhatsApp community of climate and also in our social media. So this has been an effort, a relentless effort to compile what companies are doing in climate all across the region, including Spanish-speaking and also in Brazil. We have now reached more than 400 startups, and we have mapped it in 4 key areas. So the first one is what we deem as Agtech and Foodtech. So this encompasses everything from solutions in biotech to change the way that we produce what we eat, and also how we consume and all across the value chain in agriculture and food. The second one is energy and decarbonization. So solutions that help us change the way we generate energy, but also how we distribute it, and also how we offset or look to different ways to decarbonize our energy consumption and production. The third one is mobility. So all the solutions that help us, transport intercities, between cities, or across the world through land, but also different ways. And finally, clean and circular economy. So these are solutions that help us reduce the plastic consumption in the case of B2C, but also B2B solutions, but also to help be more efficient in our consumption of water, and also to recycle its consumption and for production, both in agricultural and industrial spaces, and across other different resources. So it can encompass from manufacturing, construction, and across the board. So I'm going to give you a little bit more of data of how this current version looks like. We have now, like I said, more than 400 startups distributed in 4 core verticals, but within them there are 7 distributed sub-verticals. So the first one, like you probably saw in the map, and I think it makes a lot of sense based on how our economies work still in several of the countries in LATAM, let's say Argentina, Brazil, even Mexico. So Agtech is definitely the lion's share of the map. We have 38%. Then we have 14% that are food tech. So both together are basically more than 50% of the whole mapping. Then we have circular economy, which encompasses around 14%, and clean economy, 6%, decarbonization, close to 6%, energy is also big with 13%, and finally mobility with close to 9%. So we saw a 55% growth versus the previous version. I mean, like Diego mentioned earlier, it's a combination of that more companies have come up, and also that we have been able to become better detectives to learn more about startups that we didn't know before. And finally, I'm going to share some other data more on the distribution by country. So the radar features companies from 16 countries in Latin America. Definitely, until now, a little bit more skewed towards Spanish-speaking LATAM. Brazil only encompasses 16%, but we know that there are more that we're going to find. We're going to hunt and find them. But as you can see, while Mexico encompasses 32% of the mapping, then comes Chile with 19%. And I think this is quite a logic, because as many of you know, Chile, like they say, pulls above their weight in terms of the climate ecosystem. Chile is a very strong country, even though it's of a smaller size. They have amazing sustainable initiatives. Then, like I said, Brazil, 16%, Argentina with 15%, Colombia with 10%, and finally other countries encompass the rest. So this is a quick recap and an overview of what we've been building. we invite you to look into further detail into the radar. There you can find the QR code to take a closer look at it, be able to scan it, zoom it. We also have, you'll find the wiki where you can find in the climate wiki all the detail in the Google Sheets of the list of all the startups that are included in the mapping. And also, if for some reason you as a founder or you know of a company that is not included in the radar, there's a forms where you can send your company or your friend's company so that we, for the next version, make sure that we include them. We try to update this every 6 months or so. Last time was at the beginning of this year. And I mean, honestly, thank you all for participating, for contributing to this mapping. It has been collective work, and we're very proud of what we've been able to achieve until now. But so I also want to hear any questions, comments that you may have for the ones that have been able to look at it before, or if it's the first time that you learn about it, if you have any inquiries, anything you want to learn more about it. So, no questions? Okay, great.
Is that public apart from the QR code?
Yes, well, the DocSend is a public document. Yeah, it's part of the wiki, the climate wiki that we've been building also as a part of our initiatives, and you can share it with anyone that you like. Okay? Yeah, Marcus.
Performance indicators. Do you guys also track some performance indicators such as growth or survival rate of the startups that you're tracking over time, or is it just a snapshot at any one point in time?
Yeah, until now it's only a snapshot of which are the companies, what sectors are they, which countries they operate in, maybe a couple more statistics, but we don't compile let's say, revenue data or any other key metrics until now, because a lot of it is crowdsourced, and so we don't have all the data. We have some of that data on our internal pipeline, but that's only a subset of all the companies. Yeah.
Okay. Very nice, the radar.
Thank you.
So for the startups that join, what's a benefit apart from being in the radar, and like what do they get from being there?
Well, what I've heard from founders is that they appreciate the visibility that it helps them have to be part of the radar, so that we've seen that it has some good degree of virality, especially each time we update it. It's shared in the WhatsApp community, but also in other communities. And it helps them look at other people doing similar things. So to know, because sometimes in the climate space, you don't necessarily know everyone that is doing something, not necessarily competing, could be competing or not, just complementary to what you do. So it helps you learn more about your own space. Yeah. Okay, great. Well, thank you very much.